Heyo, welcome to Storycraft Studio. Today we're making a Steampunk Werewolf Girl for a creature swap I did last year. Yeah, it took a while to get her video done, but I'm excited for her to be the first doll of the new year. At the end, I'll also be unboxing the frankly stunning doll I received. Quick thing, my current mic and computer don't get along. It sounds like this when I record through the computer. So I'm doing the voiceover clips on my phone and importing them over. Once I'm back at work, I'll be looking for a better mic. Anyway, let's start. Here's what we've got. The shoes and body are from Disney Descendants. The dress is from a 90s vintage Christmas Jasmine doll I've had forever. And the head is from a Mattel Rapunzel. Prep starts, and basically ends, with removing the factory face with my trusty goof-off. I'll always choose to work with articulated dolls, but the head for this doll had really beautiful hair with burgundy streaks that would clash with the green I was going to use. So I pulled this head from an unarticulated Rapunzel, and the long golden blonde hair looks really good with the dark tones of the final doll. I always start the sketch off camera because I've yet to learn the control needed to do it on camera. But I can still fill in subsequent layers for you to see. You need to do a lot of those to get proper saturation after all. I decided to give her a really sassy look because I love personality in my dolls, and you don't have to worry about symmetry with those kinds of expressions. Getting the eyebrows and eyes to match in symmetrical expressions is a miracle I try not to rely on. To play up that she's a werewolf, I tried to give her wolfish features in a little black nose and her eyes. And I also went heavy on the makeup just for the drama. I decided dark green would be her color after I dyed the dress and the tulle layer stayed green. But it also just looks cool. I tried to use some browns for shading, but her skin is so pale that it looks like dirt. Maybe she's just returned from a hunt or something? Thankfully, the dirt doesn't cover her freckles, which I just thought were cute and suited a wild character. I alternate layers of Montana spray paint plastic primer and Mr. Super Clear to do the face up. The primer is really good at holding pastels and comes in a large can, so there's a lot of it, but it's not great for pencils. Working with both allows me to stretch out my MSC so I get to use it longer. That being said, I do need a new can soon, which is always really annoying because the companies don't like to ship aerosols to Hawaii. Ugh. Here's the face up with her fabulous gear earrings. Hey, remember those crazy blue heels from before? Yeah, I ditched those. Between that opening shot and this one, I decided I needed to add fur to this doll. I made a fur cape off camera, because it was complicated and messy, and decided she needed fur gaiters. The tall spats kind, not the face mask that you can't actually use anymore. To make them fit better, she needed short shoes, and I chose these. They are flats from the Comfy Princess line. I painted them black, then pushed some wires through and glued a jewel to make the heel. It seems to be my thing when I make shoes from scratch to use jewels for the heel. To make the gaiters, I got some short fur and made it a tube with some black stretch. I added some long fur at the top for texture and black lace at the bottom for detail. I later had to make changes to the back to fit better, but not bad for making it up as I went. I ended up doing a lot of things off camera because I was trying to juggle 3 projects at once, including the green tights you can see. It's a stretch I sewed into a tube, then sewed a V up the middle to form the legs. It's crazy simple and real quick, so I don't feel I robbed you guys. But next time I make tights, I'll include the footage. How does that sound? Accessories are really important in a steampunk design, in my opinion. After putting gears on everything, including that cape I didn't record, I made 2 other pieces. First is this brooch. I got it as part of a set of buttons and just used some metallic and color shift paint to give it depth. Then I ruffled some of the same lace as on her gaiters and attached both to her neckline. Then I took this large gear and clock hand from a different package and strung them into a belt using this bit of scratch chain. I later came back and added smaller hands for more detail. They look a little bit like daggers, actually. I really like it. The idea that sold me on making a werewolf in the first place was this wolf headdress / hood I found on Pinterest. I tried to find a wolf plush to make the headdress out of, but everything was either too big or too cartoony. So in the end, I gathered my courage and used some air dry clay to sculpt it. This is the bulk of my sculpting process, but not the whole thing. I did some smaller touches like inserting the eyes off camera and the entire flocking process, just because I wasn't sure what I was doing. In the end, I think it came out really well. So, I got a new computer for Christmas. Shout out to my brother-in-law for picking this baby out. I love it. And I decided to try a new video editor. The one on my old laptop was terrible at rendering previews, making it near impossible to voiceover, and was just generally really slow, and if I wasn't careful it would actually crash, which was just a pain in the butt. Of course, that may have been because it was on an older computer that I got mostly for digital art, but whatever. For the past year, I've been editing all my videos on my phone, which has served me really well. But even now, it often feels awkward while editing, and I can't do a lot of effects or fun things like I did in earlier videos. So I spent a few days of research looking for something not too difficult to pick up, with good editing tools, voiceover, and free. I'm so broke, I need to go back to work. Several reviews and recommendations sent me to what was supposedly the free version of a pricey editor. It was Filmora, which is what I already had! I kept researching, kept hoping, but in the end, everyone said it was the best option. So I downloaded it. Figured I'd see how it worked, if it worked better this time, and if it didn't, I'd just lower my standards and try something else, until I found a workable program. Besides, I neglected to cancel my Filmora subscription, so I didn't have to worry about the free version's limitations like the big old watermark. In the end, it seems to be working so much better on the new computer, and I'm cautiously optimistic for the future. Originally, the dress was this rich green, like under the armpit, but it's been like 20 years, so it's changed color. On its own, I liked the brown, but it didn't have any fur the same shade. To fix that, I dyed the dress black with a bit of brown for a richer tone. The green didn't take any of the dye, nor the white waist area. So I took some brown cotton and black lace, gave it some decorative gold stitching, and attached it over the white like a corset. Last of all, since I had to ship this doll to Spain, I wanted a sturdy box and pulled out this old chocolate box I got a while back. It was this beautiful gold on the outside, but glaring white on the inside. I got my spray paints and painted a silver full moon and vivid galaxy to fix that. I think it gave a fun touch and works well with the overall werewolf theme. For a touch of glam, I added nail polish to her fingers and toes. And now we can put her together. Here's that cape I kept mentioning. It didn't really like to stay on, but still looks great. And now she's all together. Now, let's unbox it all I received from Tijera y Pluma. Not sure I pronounced that right, but her link is down below. First off, customs beat the hell out of this box. There was candy all over the place, it was a mess. What were they doing? It also arrived the same week my family was getting ready to visit my sister for Christmas. So it was just absolute chaos. It was much too big to open in my craft space, so I opened it right there in the kitchen with my mom, who was excited for it because she received this really cool big box. She tried to record it. Unfortunately, holding the camera up to see everything is hard for her, and she's also super impatient. She kept turning off the camera to take over unboxing, which I found hilarious, but also helpful because Tijera was very thorough with her packaging, and you're gonna see why, because this is you need to protect this doll. In the end, we got her out. She's a solar punk phoenix with delightful inspired digigrade legs, articulated toes and claws on a DC superhero girl body. I am completely in love with her. She's so beautiful and skillfully made, and those feathers! It must have been so much work, but it's so amazing. Seriously, once I get a ladder in my room to get up to the shelves, she's getting like pride of place. I may make a whole vignette for her. She's so beautiful, and I love her. Thank you, Tijera. It's just, I don't have words. Oh my gosh, Mahalo for watching. This was quite the adventure, and I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and maybe leave a comment. Getting those little notifications just makes my day. I upload fairly often on Instagram at Storycraft Studio, so make sure to follow me there if you want to keep up with my sketches and projects and drawings, and occasionally I hold polls and ignore them, as an artist is what to do. Anywho, I hope to see you in the next video. Aloha!